Welcome to Beaded Doilies by Shell. In this video, I am going to be showing you the pieces that I have been creating over the last few weeks. Ever since I figured out how to stitch peyote patterns with the cross weave, I have been enjoying doing so. Here is the list of the patterns that I've been doing. I have the fishy little pod, which was the first one I did, which is this one here. And then there is the, I'm not sure how to say the first word, but Neko 3D Star, which is the second one that I started. And then during the November bead along, I did a treasure bag. And it brought me into the idea of making a purse. So I actually took a pin cover and am in the process of repeating it and turning it into a purse using larger beads. I also made recently for the December bead along this angel pod. So I want to show you the pieces. Here's the angel pod. This one I'm going to be shipping off soon as it is a gift for a family member. Now for the pods, or even the stars I wanted to show you, I puffed them up by creating a plushie. And then I put the beads around the outside of it, and that gives them the 3D form. And then the treasure bag here, I really like this one. I created this actually for my husband because my daughter and I are going to be out of town at Christmas time, and we're going to leave him inside the treasure bag on the tree little Christmas notes. So that is our plan with the treasure bag. And then here is my goldfish purse, which I'm in the process of making. Now one thing I did for the purses or bags is at one point, let me find it, here, see, normally you would do 2 beads, but when it comes to where the side is, I did 1 bead, so I would remember where the side is, and then when I get to the bottom, I'll just sew it up with the 1 bead and go across. But I haven't reached the bottom yet. It keeps getting interrupted with all these other nice designs I am doing. I also wanted to show you with the star here that when I am creating stars and pods, what I do is I make the diamond shape. Now for the pod, you would just make 2 diamond shapes and then you would sew them back to back. For the star, you would make 5 diamond shapes and sew them together, and then you would repeat your 5 diamond shapes for the opposite side. For sewing them together, I recommend that you watch my Kaleidocycle Part 9 video, because the stitch that you use to sew these together is the same stitch that is used to make the large triangle, and it is shown in Part 9 of my Kaleidocycle. So that is a good place for you to go to learn how to sew your diamonds together, and it's the same stitch for sewing, closing it up and making your completed piece. Same with the stars. When you go to sew it up, you'll use the same stitch. I also have a video up for how to read a peyote graph to stitch with the right angle weave if you are interested in doing so yourself. And I have a graph on my Pinterest account for doing details. For example, I changed up the way that I did the eyes, nose, and mouth for the cat, mostly because I actually left off a line of beads on each pyramid on the part that comes together, because when I sew it together I knew that there would be a little bit of a gap. So the missing rows are made up with the gap when it is sewn together. So with that, I definitely had to rework the eyes, especially because I cut off some of the eye pattern part. So the graph that I have up, you can use for details to test them in advance, so that while you're beading, you don't have to worry about whether it will come out perfect the first time or not. So these are the pieces that I have been working on. I hope that you enjoy them, and I hope that you get a chance to make lots of beautiful pieces yourself. Also, as an extra, this piece here, I was told that the bead along at Seed Beads and More was going to be snow and angels. So I made this little treasure for the bead along. I'm going to put it on the white so it's easier to see. And I'm calling it a treasure flake. And what it is just extra beads. I just went through my beads and found stuff that I had used a long time ago that were just sitting around not getting used. So I put them together and I made a treasure flake. And each one is different. And the pattern for it is available at Seed Beads and More for the month of December. And then after that I will take the Christmas snowflake, which is this is patterned off of, and I'll put it back on my Etsy account, and I will include with it the information for making a treasure flake. So if you do miss out the December bead along, you can find it on my Etsy account. I hope that you enjoy making lots of pieces, and happy beading.